Hey guys, welcome to Wrench to Drive. As you can see, the trusty WLToys 12428 crawler conversion is a little slower than it used to be. In past versions, those tight turns, it would have rolled over for sure. And the reason it's slower is we're running a 45 turn crawler motor. And it gives a lot better control, guys, which I'm going to show you in the video here. Other than that, same truck as always. It's running the Hobbywing 1080 ESC. It's not too much WLToys anymore, just the axles. It's semi-locked up, so when you see it getting a little bit stuck or not pulling its way through, it's because the axles aren't fully locked. They're kind of half locked, but it does get significantly better traction than a full open diff car. As you can see, the control is pretty good with this motor, guys. A lot better slow speed performance in terms of covering up the blasphemies of a heavy throttle finger. Crawls over those bumps real nice and slow. With this transmission setup, guys, one of the things you'll see is that it is still a little prone to rolling, a little prone to kind of a loose feel. But I think that's to be expected. This is the old axial clone technology. I think it's the first version axial transmission. Maybe SCX2. I'm not 100% sure. No, it is SCX10. Yeah, it's the first version transmission, guys. And you know, I think that's going on 20 years old now. So to be expected. It's not cutting edge. If you really want the ultimate in performance, guys, the new portal axle trucks are the way to go. But as you can see, this thing's got pretty good control now. I try coming down this face here, and yeah, no harm, no foul. The other thing you might notice if you've seen this truck before is I'm running a bush bar on the front. It's not quite finished yet, guys. I was trying to come up with a good fitting system, and it's just kind of jerry-rigged on there a little bit, just two holes mounting, and I kind of expect it to break at some point, but so far it's been durable, guys, so there'll be some bumpers coming soon. Just been working on about the best way to use them. You can see the crawling performance is pretty good, guys. Oh, and one thing I forgot to do was bump the drag brake back up to 100%, and I didn't anticipate with this motor that the drag brake would be as ineffective as it is. I think it's at 70% right now, guys, and man, that different motor, it's night and day how much weaker it is. It's one of those things I didn't really anticipate, and that's worth noting, guys. If you're going to run a crawler with a high turn motor, that Hobbywing 1080 ESC is probably close to as good as you're going to get drag brake wise. So if you like a strong drag brake, that ESC probably is what you're after. It's by far the strongest one I've run. So as you can see, the truck's still plenty capable. Makes its way over this type of stuff no problem at all. The articulation's still pretty good. It actually is a little bit stiff right now. I need to check out the shocks. The one downside to these cheap aluminum Chinese shocks is that I think they could benefit from a guide at the bottom of the top part, like underneath one of the O-rings. I think these are double O-ring if I remember correctly, and I think I'm going to swap out one of the O-rings and put in a guide so that they run a little smoother, because they do tend to rub against the end caps a little bit. The shafts kind of rub on the end caps, and if it's not looped up just perfectly, it gets a little sticky. You get a little dirt and grit in there, and then you notice it right away, and I think at this point it's a little sticky. Yeah, that speed there is pretty easy to maintain, guys. If you really want to go slow, it's a little bit trickier, but kind of a mellow pace, just cruising along, it's quite easy to maintain. If you check out any of the past videos of this truck, you'll see what I mean about the improved low-speed performance, guys. It was much less controllable in the past. Not too bad in my opinion, guys. It crawls along slow pretty nicely now. To me, this is as many turns as I'd like to go with, guys. I actually think this truck is probably a little bit better with a 27 turn or a 35 turn motor. If you saw my last video, you know that I talked about getting a 35 turn, that I had it ordered, and actually that order ended up getting canceled, guys, because they were out of stock on Bankgood was out of stock on something I ordered. I can't remember what now, and it was supposed to be in within 10 days, and it wasn't. And then the motor actually ended up being pushed out another week or two, and I just kind of thought, well, if it's just going to go in a cycle of something being unavailable and the order being pushed back, I might as well just cancel. So I canceled, and I bought a $15 45 turn crawler motor at my local hobby store instead, and that's what you're seeing running here. It's an RC 4-wheel drive 45 turn crawler motor. No complaints, it works pretty well. The only thing I have to complain about is that the bullet connectors are actually just a tiny bit on the small side, and they didn't fit very well, so I had to kind of squeeze the connector ends on the ESC with a pair of pliers to get them to grip a little tighter. And I haven't had that problem with any cheap Chinese motors that I've ordered, but with the RC 4-wheel drive motor in here, it was I don't know, they seemed physically smaller, guys. I didn't actually measure them, I probably should have, but they seem physically smaller than the standard bullet connectors, so that's just a small, small knock, guys. Not that big of a deal, but kind of annoying. So yeah, she works well, guys, and as you can see here, it's very capable of some control crawling. With the bigger turn motors, this would be really difficult to do, guys. Like the truck would be hopping and flying forward, flying back, much more difficult to control. With this motor, it's really capable of handling some of this sort of terrain here. And like I was saying, the only knock is that I think a 27 turn might be the sweet spot, guys, because I like a little more wheel speed personally. And you'll see here, I'm just gonna hop it out of this. That's not a lot of wheel speed, guys. That was absolutely pinned. So definitely wheel speed is not a strength right now. And you'll see later on in this video, there's kind of a boring section where I'm just playing around in a little bowl that's gotten quite dry. And as soon as you get in loose dirt, lack of wheel speed is actually a problem. Like there's stuff that you could easily get over if you had a little more wheel speed, but trying to crawl up it just can't pull it off, guys. So that's the only knock right now, and I think that's something I didn't fully appreciate. Is that's kind of the eternal struggle when you're going for a scale crawling feel and performance. More wheel speed, you can definitely get up stuff better, but slower wheel speed, you can crawl better. So it's a bit of a trade-off. And in the older crawlers, like these SCX-10 clone crawlers, you gotta balance driving skill and the setup to get good control. And I mean, all this is just examples of the control was nowhere near as good before, guys. This motor's a massive, massive difference. It's a little bit funny actually when you drive it. It's kind of funny how little torque it has. I don't know. It's hard to describe unless you try it. But one thing you can do is like running like the 21 turn motor that I had in here before, guys. If you have a high-end radio, you could also turn back the throttle range so that you're effectively limiting the voltage that goes to the motor. So say you're running a 2S, that's 7.4 volt. With a motor that's got a low number of turns, so it spins quite fast. It's got decent torque. When you turn down that voltage, it's going to limit the RPM, so effectively reducing your wheel speed. And you know, if you knock it down to, you know, like a 4-volt max or something, using your radio settings, it's going to make a big difference in the way it crawls. And the radio that I'm using in here is actually the one that came with the ARMA 4S Outcast, and it's got some decent settings, guys. And for sure, you can kick back the throttle, and it does improve the crawling somewhat. But like I said, a fancier radio would give you a little bit more tunability. Something like oh, brain cramp. The RC6GS, the Radio Link, or the RC4GS, they give you a little more tunability, from my understanding. I don't have one of those yet, guys, but it's kind of on my list of radios that if I got a few bucks to spare, I kind of would like to get one. There's that top speed again, guys. You can see that it's not super fast, and it for sure doesn't even come close to rolling over in the corners now. So it's significantly slower. So yeah, there's different ways to skin the cat when you're trying to go for the crawling performance that you're aiming for, guys. And I mean, I think swapping motors is pretty much the cheapest, and then just playing around with your limits and your dual rate on the radio while you're driving will get you that little bit extra control that you're after. But this guy goes pretty good though. Here's that bowl I was mentioning, so I'm just going to crawl around the rim here. And this is actually tricky because there's not much room up there. There's a lot of weeds, and you got to kind of stay away from the weeds, but not to put your wheels all the way over. Up here is where it gets a little more tricky. And this here looks like it should be really easily doable, guys, but it's actually not, because there's weeds right up at the top there. And if you want to kind of straddle it, it's way trickier than it looks from this perspective. You kind of end up sliding off a lot. This was interesting, guys. I just kind of did that as a goof, but you notice it went up really easy, and I'm going to do it again here because I was like, what, was that a fluke? No, it climbs up in reverse really well, guys. Like it's putting the power down really well that way. Now you'll see, and I try to go forward, it spins the tires a lot easier. And I don't think these tires are directional, so that's just purely a case of backing up. It was getting really good traction, guys. Here I'm trying to kind of walk along the lip, but with the tires not locked, or with the axles not fully locked up, it's just kind of spinning one tire or two tires and giving up. Oh, there, I made it. And I kind of play around a bit here and screw myself. There's a big weed up there too, so yeah, rolled it over. That hill is steep, guys. It's much steeper than it actually looks. This thing's got a real low center of gravity, guys. It actually doesn't roll over on this super easily. The Red Cat Gen 8 that crawls significantly better really can't pull off that maneuver. It's the center of gravity is a little bit higher, guys, and it'll roll over in that situation. And there you see it digs in pretty easy. This dirt's gotten really dry, as you can see. I was surprised how loose it was around here. When we get the kind of rain we've had this year, usually this would have turned into a big lump of clay, but it's really breaking down now. I was, like I said, a little bit surprised. Like you see here, it struggles more than you'd think, guys. One thing that's worth noting is after I shot this, I actually was driving it two-handed, and pretty much everywhere you see it even remotely struggle in this video, guys, if you're driving two-handed and you can use the steering a little bit to kind of jiggle it left and right a bit when you're losing traction, and a little bit better throttle control, it made it up no problem. Literally, kind of as easy as it gets, guys. Like it made it up one little chunk of really gravelly hill that I didn't honestly think it had a hope, because it was really steep, guys. It was probably It was minimum 45 degrees, guys, minimum. We're talking steep, and it got up even without the axles being fully locked. So bit of a surprise there. I wish I had it on camera, but it's tricky to shoot stuff when you're using both your hands to drive the truck. But as you can see, it handles the terrain pretty well, guys, and the control level is really good with this 45 turn. I think I don't know if I'm going to buy another motor this year, guys. I don't think so, because it just it kind of seems pointless. But who knows? Next year we'll see what I'm running, and I might actually pick up a 27 or a 35 for this truck, and see how that works. Because I don't know. To me, it'd be nice to know what the sweet spot really is. Like what's the optimum, in my opinion. You know, for my purposes, guys. But anyways, we're coming to the end of the video, so thanks for tuning in. I'm not too sure how much more there'll be of this truck this year, but it'll show up again at some point. See you next time on Wrench to Drive, where we ask the eternal question: do you wrench to drive, or do you drive to wrench?